Welcome everyone to OTech Pros. We are here on our new day and time, which is now Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We're happy to have you all here. This is going to be an interactive webinar. What this means is we will be speaking, and after we are done speaking, we would like you to make comments or ask questions related to our topic. And you're going to do that through the Q&A button on the webinar. Again, this is through the Q&A, and we will be selecting appropriate questions and comments and we'll be answering them. Today, our topic is AI, what it means for you. AI and what it means for you. And we're going to begin today with Collins Mana.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you to all those who are watching. I'm glad that you are here again to take something out from this webinar, which is on passive AI, what it means for you. You know, we all have different definitions. There are different ways people think about AI and the way they look at it. But again, AI is such a broad topic and it's embedded in every program language, depending on how the company want to use it. We know AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning has been there for quite a while, for decades. But this is the time that most companies, especially on passive, which our company is using AI and has used AI, you know, to build all the software from scratch. Everything is in AI. There is no way, you know, besides Mofara is a lover of AI, and he knows that with AI, this is a generation. Now, what is really AI? They said AI. So AI is the simulation of humans' intelligence processed by machine, especially computer. It is what? The human's intelligence processed by machine. It's simulation. So you simulate human brain or you simulate machine to behave like humans. This is the way the world is going, especially when it comes to technology. And thank God, Ash Mofara and the tech guys in Hyderabad, they've used everything regarding AI. Now, you know, in other words, the way they develop AI, you know, so the AI is being developed, you know, within the computer system to perform tasks that normally requires, or, you know, sometimes that are repetitive tasks. So they've decided to program computer to perform those tasks that normally humans would do, especially those repetitive tasks. And some of those tasks are what? They're talking about, you know, visual perception. You know, we talk about visual perception. Machine can look at it, visualize things and understand and look at you and say, this is what you are trying to do. And that's one. We are talking about speech recognition. Machine can recognize speech, depending on how they program it to recognize. We have voice to text, text to voice, you know, and OnPassive already use that in most of the programs or products that we have. We're talking about O Academy, we're talking about O Connect. So they've used all of that. We're talking about Sonar, the chat box. So we have it in Sonar, text to voice, voice to text. That's artificial intelligence. We're talking about precise decision making. So machine can decide, you know, when they code it, it can make decision. You know, there are a lot of roles that we're talking about our heat map, talking about our O tracker, you know, O tracker is there. And we talk about heat map within O tracker that marketers can look at it, can tell you precisely where you can pay your attention to where your customers are located, instead of throwing funds everywhere, throwing everything anywhere where you cannot see it. You know, that's loss of money, loss of a lot of things, but machine can make decision for you, you know, and we are the one feeding those information. That's why we're talking about language translation. You know, machine now can translate language, program computer to translate language. We're talking about multilingual translation. We have it in O Academy, we have it in O Connect, where you can select the language that you want, and machine will take that decision for you. Machine can say, okay, this is the language, or look at your geolocation and said, all right, you are in England, or maybe you are in Japan, or they look at the geolocation and said, all right, whatever is coming, to look at that geolocation and said, okay, this country is Japanese, so let's hit Japanese, and it will just translate automatically. Or if you are there, you are not a native speaker of Japanese, what you do, you select the language that you are comfortable with, and you can follow your program. This is a game changer in O Connect. So this is AI in the making. So on passive, of use that and build everything with AI. People have different things, different understanding of AI. Sometimes people look at cookies and they say, wow, this is AI. No, it's not AI. It's just because your computer have just captured a lot of those things, the IP address of capture it. And every time you visit a site, try to do something, maybe a sales site, and then they've captured your IP address, and then they can send you all of those things and more until you go and clear your cookies. Then you will never receive it again. That is not AI. AI is about making the system more robust, making the system more fast. These are the way AI works. It look at things, make decisions, making things more easy. When it comes to coding, remember AI is coding language. They code it, and they embed everything. So it captures all of those big data, analyzes, and then do things in a way that human beings will do. So there are a lot of areas. But remember, we are the one feeding those information into the computer for the computer to be able to work precisely. For the computer to be able to understand and do stuff. And you have to build upon that until it reaches a stage where the computer will be perfected and can behave like humans. We have that in most of the things, from the data center to database to all the products, everything is embedded with artificial intelligence. For instance, to cut down errors, to make our life more easy, when we do certain tasks, AI look at it and then try to make sure everything is precise. Because remember, if you look at your normal day-to-day work, you have 9 hours a day to do stuff, right? 9 hours. How many hours within that 9 hours are you effective and efficient? Maybe it's 2-3 hours. After 3 hours or 2 hours, you start to drop. Your efficiency and effectiveness will start to drop, going down. But machine will always work precisely. And that is where artificial intelligence comes in, to make sure everything is, it's just precise until you would decide to stop the machine. If not, it will continue to hit that high target, because that is where the world is going. So I will leave it there, and I'll hand over to Auntie Lynn to take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We will now go on to Oliver Fonte.
Hey, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Oliver Fonte. I'm talking from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm your friend. Today's topic is AI. And when you look into AI, everything on passive is AI. Remember the three items that Mr. Ashmufara has explored to build all our products: artificial intelligence, AI, automation, and integration. We'll be talking more about AI, machine learning, and a little bit of, when we talk of AI, you also have to talk a little bit about automation, because AI also automate, and AI has empowered the possibility of yesterday to become today technology. If you look at the world today, AI has been there a long time ago, but people, these tech companies didn't exploit it. But today, our CEO has taken that advantage to exploit it, and a lot of other companies, they've been in AI also, but not from scratch, like OnPassive. OnPassive has taken it to the next level by creating or developing all our products with AI from scratch. That this is a plus. It's expensive, but it's worth it, because he wants to serve our customers. He wants the customers to have the best and the best of it. AI is the ability for machine to learn and act intelligently, meaning they can make decisions, carry on tasks, and predict future outcomes from what they can learn from data. Remember, like Colin said, we are the one that we feed the machines with this information, and we feed these machines with information. The more you ask questions, the more the algorithms or the machines, they better themselves, and they will serve us in the kind of a better way, and things are going to be more efficient and faster. And when you look into you look into our sonar, you look into our O chart also. Look at sonar before when we had sonar a few months back. It was not like that, but today, if you look at it in sonar, any question you ask sonar, anything that is within our products, within OnPassive, it gives you the answer, because the data scientists, they've taken all those questions that sonar that were not coded into the system. Now they've been coded, and now the system is able to answer all the questions. So as we are going into the market, as OnPassive is going into the market now, the perfect things that is more efficient, that we are going to enjoy it. And remember what the CEO told us one time about O-chart. That O-chart is going to be that employee that will be working for us all around the clock, and it's embedded with artificial intelligence. Then now let me go into the various type of AI that I saw that is within. The CEO has tapped into them, and all our products are embedded with all these other AI features, like Reactive AI. The Reactive AI, that's the way that this program is to learn about past and future based on input it receives. It also filters spams. For example, look at our omail.ai. It filters spams. We don't have spam folder. We don't have junk mail on any folder in our AI. This is a very big advantage that we got with AI. This is one of the most powerful features also that AI got in our omail.ai. It also dictates what you can shop. It dictates what you can shop, like our e-commerce or shop is good that they are going to use it, because using also our O tracker and O traffic, they're going to also benefit from it. Our e-commerce, they will narrow you where to buy, how much at that particular location that you are, and they can tell that on this, when you go to this store, this is where you have those goods for this particular price, because they must have scanned the whole that neighborhood or the whole of that area, that this is the store that has the cheapest price. It's $10. That is $10. The other stores, they do have $15. $10. It helps you now to dictate your shopping habit and make you to shop intelligently. That is Reactive AI. Come again, we have limited memory AI, artificial intelligence. It's used past data to improve later use for today. It uses the past data, because all the data that is coming in, like Colin just mentioned, like Colin just said, that they use all those data now to code. Those are the questions that we ask. When you ask, they use the past data now to write the code to perfect the system that is going to be working for us. Come again. AI also use, like we said, use the past data to make prediction in future. It has that ability to read its environment, use its historic data to make decisions. Like I just said, in Reactive AI, it also helps us to make that decision, that perfect decision, that we will not spend money carelessly. We will shop intelligently and wisely. That is AI. Like now, most of the stores are going online. People shop now online. Even grocery in the houses, they shop online. So it helps you now to make that good decision to shop for yourself, both grocery and whatever. And a lot of business now, they've also divert now online. You see that there are more jobs now, online jobs. There are more delivery jobs also. Why? Because that's the cost of AI. Those are the advantages that AI brings now on the table to us. We also have theory to mine AI. It has that capability to understand emotions and replicate them, such like human. It's in our sonar also. AI has emotions. It behaves and when you come to sonar, to our sonar, it has that emotion that can also, when you let's say you log into AI yesterday or last week, when you come back in future, it's going to recognize you, and with emotions also. and it can replicate. So these are the three powerful type of artificial intelligence that I saw that is in all our products, that the CEO has tapped into them, and we are getting there. Let me go into now the security of AI. AI has the most powerful feature for security when it comes to security. Look at our database. Like the CEO told us that we are secured 100%. It's AI is there. I'm sorry, our colleague Vincent is not here. That is his specialty. He would have given us more on that. But I'll just leave it there. Next time, maybe when he comes, he will work on that. But I just want us to understand that AI, our database is 100% secure, and it's also embedded with artificial intelligence. So you can imagine what that means. Comes again, we have firewalls in our multiple regions. Our data center also is AI. So when you look into everything, every technology in OnPassive, AI is involved. In security, we talk about event prediction. Event prediction can predict future attack events. The security also that can also reveal how attack events might happen. It can also predict that, how those events can happen and may come from, and can also create shorter way of dictating threat and how to remediate them also. That is AI. Tell me which other company that can have AI in all their products, and that AI comes with that can detect threat and how to remediate those threats. When they talk of remediation or mitigation, is how to fix them. This is why we say it's very, very powerful AI. Come again, we do have the automated dictation action. When AI dictate any attack, it might lock that system, the server, immediately, and prevent users. Also shut down all the various system ports and block specific traffic from getting in. This is powerful. This is the work of artificial intelligence doing this, and we have that in OnPassive. You cannot beat that. Mr. Ash Mufara really tapped into everything, that even right up to our security. Yes, in security, we don't say 100%, but at least I can give 98% on between 95 or 98% on that, because of the work of artificial intelligence. Come again, you have real-time monitoring and alert. When you talk about real-time monitoring of alert, AI takes control and react to problems, and also let everyone knows what happened, why, and when. So it helps the tech guys. It helps the tech guys to like dictate and ease them up for remediation, to fix if there's any attack or if there's any threat in the system, if there's any risk in the system. It's not like before we have to do things manually, but now everything is automated with artificial intelligence. Okay, it also has that robust data control. There are a lot of data leak that happens these days. Several security vulnerability, they are also direct result of unauthorized people who get into our system. Even right in-house. In most companies, you have people in-house that are also dangerous. That's why when the CEO told us last time, I can't remember, maybe that was last year or beginning of this year, that the tech team, the tech guys in Hyderabad, their jobs are being divided. You have privilege only on what you are doing, permission on only what you are doing. The task that you are doing, that is where they give you that, they give you permission to do. You can't do any other task or you don't have access to any other application that you don't have that task. Even in the application that you work, you have limitations. You have limitations because you don't trust anybody. You do not trust anybody in security. Because the bad guys are mostly people in the house. They are mostly people that are in-house employees. That they will steal or take password or credentials, give it to their friends outside to attack the system in-house. So you don't trust people. So now comes the work of AI. That AI has eased up things to us, the IT, the security guys. Now we will be able, a task that we can do, we can take about 8 hours to investigate, troubleshoot. Now AI has facilitated things to us. now tell us where and point to where the threat is, and we fix it in less than 1 hour. But this is something that if you want to troubleshoot, it can take a whole day. Before, manually. But now things are, now we can do things easily. Let me go into some advantages of AI. Productivity is going to improve. Avoid human errors. That one is very, very important. To avoid human errors, like what I just said. It avoid human errors. Human errors in the sense that when you do things manually, at times you're tired. Within 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day that you work, you can only be productive for 5-6 hours. the rest of the other 4 or 3 hours, you are like, and by so doing, there might be errors, and there are going to be errors. But with AI, it avoids all those human errors. It saves time. Before customer service, some customer service, you have about 10 or 12 employees. The company pays them, but now 1, 2 is enough. With AI, 1 or 2 is enough. Because now AI is going to speed up things. AI is going to help also to save that time. You know? And the system is more secure, like what I just talked about security. What I just talked about security, that the real-time monitoring, because it monitors the system and the alerts that comes in and notify the IT techs for them to start to fix. You know, it's more secure also in the sense that if there's any threat that is coming in from in or out, it blocks the system. It blocks the system. Then, like Connie just talked about repetitive task. It reduces that repetitive task. It reduces the repetitive task and make the system now more efficient. This is the work of artificial intelligence. You know, and more job is going to be done. Productivity will increase. Demand, companies that they do have high demand, they'll be able to meet up with their demands. Yes, I know a lot of people will say that. People say that AI is going to take jobs. No, it's going to create more jobs. AI is going to create more jobs than even what we have today. AI is going to create more jobs. So I will leave it there, Antilene. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was great. Now we go on to Andy Burks, who can say a few words, more than a few words. Go ahead.
Oh, you know me.
I'm counting. Go ahead.
Yeah. Here we go. I love this stuff, and I'm not, as many of you know, technically minded. So for me, the AI is quite simple. You know, Collins has mentioned that it translates automatically into various different languages. Now, if you look at the world, the most spoken language in the world is Mandarin Chinese, because there are 4 billion of them. And then it's, believe it or not, it's Spanish and then English. So we're the third on the list. But if you have South America as a market, because you have the facility or the capability to be able to communicate with these people simply by discussing as we are now, and it come out in text in their language, how many more sales do you think you'd get? How many more clients do we potentially think we could have? Now, I love the fact that for me, the artificial intelligence is going to build me a website which will change daily. Now, why is that happening? Because what the artificial intelligence does is it looks at what customers like. Collins has mentioned it and Oliver's mentioned it. It's going to mold or change our websites, change the sales funnels or the capture pages on a daily basis. How many people see these adverts every day? And the adverts seem to change month on month on month. Yeah, you have an advert on TV offering you something, or you see an advert in the paper, or you see an advert on Facebook. These capture pages, these adverts have to change because some work for some people and some work for other people. So artificial intelligence takes that to the next level. As Oliver said, it is machine learning. So what it does is it looks at the reaction to the customers have made and make or tweak things so that it becomes more efficient and more efficient and more efficient. Now, if we've got a capture page that is so efficient, it simply captures a client, how many customers are we going to have? Phenomenal opportunity. You know, the productivity and removing human errors. When we place things like adverts in sales environments, we might miss something. We might have put a word wrongly, or the greatest one is the question mark or the comma in the right place, changing the entire meaning of a sentence. And when you're looking at a capture page or you're looking at a sales opportunity, you don't want to make that mistake. And artificial intelligence is going to do all of this for us. Now, Colin's mentioned about working 9 hours a day. I don't think I've ever done that in my life. No, no, I've had days when I've worked 12 hours a day. But like you say, at the end of the day, you've got 3, maybe 4 at the outset of full productivity, and the rest of that time is then you're kind of going downhill. You're losing focus. With the AI, you don't lose focus because it's going to do those bits and pieces for you. And this is why I love the simplicity of this system. They're going to build me a website which will change daily. Artificial intelligence is going to do that. It's going to drive specific targeted traffic to the website. Now, again, the artificial intelligence looks at traffic, looks at the ways that customers react to advertisements or sales funnels and what have you, and creates something that works and becomes more and more efficient as it goes down the line. So specific targeted traffic, our conversion rate in comparison to others is going to be considerably higher. It goes without saying. We've got the daily sales funnel that changes, but it's going to then close that sale for us because it's doing all the bits that us humans don't like to do, the simplicity of it. So it closes the sale and then it deals with all of the customer support. And Oliver mentioned about the chatbots that we have. So if there are issues, customers are going to get exactly what they need because of the chatbot that comes online. If it takes it to a certain level and the customer still needs something, then we have someone in the background. Now, again, the data center, you mentioned about, Ash mentioned about the number of employees it has, or Amazon Web Services have in one of their data centers, 1,100 odd. He said for the data center that we have, it's maybe 3 or 4. That's a time saving, that's a manpower saving, that's a cost saving as well. And everyone likes the cost saving because where does it go? More profit comes into OnPassive and more profit is going to be passed out to the founders over time. Fantastic. Spam. No one likes spam, but here's a good one for you. When you do get spam in your inbox, take a note of the email address and put it on your list. This is a potential customer for you for OnPassive at a later date. But from our point of view, every email that we send out will be checked for spam. So it'll arrive in the customer's inbox. Now, again, think about this for just 1 second. If you're sending out 1,000 emails a day and only 10% of those, 100, are going into somebody's inbox, then you've got the open rate, which might only be 50% of those. Then you've got the actual customer looking at it more closely. That's maybe 2 or 3. Okay, 2 or 3 out of 1,000 is horrendous. If you've got 1,000 emails going into the inbox directly and 50% of those look at that, that's 500. And if it's then 5%, it's then only 1% or 2%, then it's 5 to 10. It's far, far greater than anything that's normal, based on the fact that we have this system that says, look, it's going to take all of those spam words away from us. We cannot send emails out unless they are spam free, which means it'll end up in somebody's email folder inbox and not in the spam box. And the time saving, Love that. Absolutely love that. Everyone loves time saving. And as I said before, I don't want to work 9 hours. I'm happy to work 2. So if it can do that for me, even better. Thanks, Lynn. Back to you.
Thank you. I saw so many advantages of using AI, and even from the marketing or sales perspective, very powerful stuff. All right, at this time, we would like to open it up to the floor, and that means you attendees that are here. Grateful to have you, and you've heard what the OTech pros have said, as well as Andy, who comes from the sales perspective. And I see that we have founders as well as visitors here. We would love to hear from you. What are your thoughts about AI? I might want to start the ball rolling by asking you how you feel about AI. Is it all positive? Do you have some trepidation or concerns about AI? Let us hear from you. We are going to use the Q&A section, which is part of this webinar. Look for the Q&A button, and you will type your comment or question there, and we will select questions that are relevant to our topic. And our topic today is AI and what it means for you. So please, we'd like to keep it as an interactive session today, to keep it active, keep you guys engaged. We want to hear what you think. We want to hear from you. This is what it's all about. And in the meantime, we're going to talk amongst ourselves about AI until we get a question. Let me look real quick here in the Q&A. Oh, okay. I see one relevant question so far, and that is from Ibrahim Saeed, who is in Ghana. And he asks, please, does Google, Facebook, and Amazon use AI? And so Collins answered it. So he said they may be using it, but in another way. Not sure if they are fully using AI. So we might want to elaborate amongst ourselves to Ibrahim's question. Again, he's asking if Google, Facebook, and Amazon use AI.
Yeah, let me start. Yes, they use part of it, but not fully from scratch, like on passive. They have some other products that they have AI, that they tap into AI also, but they do bit patching. The advantage that OnPassive got with that of all the other tech companies that is now also that they want to get into it is that what they do, they patch, but OnPassive, we got all our products from scratch embedded with artificial intelligence. That is huge. That is where one of our sister, Dr. Peckham, said that Mr. Ash Mufara is a disruptor of the system. Because with AI and machine learning, our products that are from scratch, it's like you want to build a house. You build your house from foundation with everything, all the appliances, the cabling, the piping from scratch. Then because you've seen now that there are modern houses now and modern things that have come up, now you want to patch. Those pipes are going to be hanging but outside. Those pipes cannot be in between the blocks. So now everything is from foundation, from scratch, and we do have a template on that. That is the big advantage that we got from all these other tech companies. And that's why we are ahead of the game, at least between 3 to 5 years ahead of the game. Because by the time they want to get us, just imagine that we have an AI lab, we have AI tech, we have AI data scientists that are in Hyderabad, only brainstorming. It looks like what Mr. Ash Mufara did. Most of our products, the 10 products are done. I'm sorry, most of our 10 products are done, but look at what he did. Now he's taking the cool, adding more disruptive features on top of those. Look at OMail, what he did with OMail. Look at what he did again with OConnect, that it has 1 or 2 springs to come out. So we can add more and more and more. Our system will still stand. They will not blink. All the products they can carry because we have a solid foundation. But the other tech companies, I don't like calling their names, they cannot. They will not, except they want to start from scratch. And if they want to start from scratch also, it will cost them a lot of money. Thank you.
Anyone else? Oh, please.
Sorry,
please.
can I just ask Oliver? I understand the concept of patching, but what difference does it really make as far as software is concerned? So when you patch something, you're simply taking the existing coding and then adding bits into the coding, making it more difficult to integrate. Is that correct? How does that work?
Oh no, yeah. Let me say this: when you patch, you take the existing product, you try to add stuff. It gets to an extent you cannot add again, because the further you want to add more, the system will crash. You know. So, but with us, with Unpassive, with our products, you can do what you want to do. Like, look at what the CEO is doing now. Like I just said, it's adding, because we are from foundation. But
in other words, what he's done is
let me explain this, Andy. Just explain this how patching works. You know, with patching, for instance, you build like Oliver said, you build an existing house with a structure. At that time, it was good, right? That is the format you build a house, because everyone was building the same like you. Now modernization come and you want to change a little bit of things. The house will not be the same again, because you are using new stuff to put it on an old house. Because if you break down all the house, you have tenant in that house, you break it, or the tenants will leave, and maybe you lost a lot of income because you're not generating income, because you want to build it everything again. So what they will do is, most IT companies just said, okay, I will take a little bit of this new piece of technology, see how I can hang it to fit, so I can sell it, because it's about making money. It's about making money. So they just take it and hang it there and then sell it, make it there, sell it. As Oliver said, if you continue to do that, everything will collapse. There will be a time where you cannot do it again. The only thing you can do is start to build everything from scratch. So, and to build everything from scratch is more expensive. To break it and then build everything again is more expensive, and nobody will wait for you.
So if you like, if I put this into contextual terms, like building the Burj Khalifa, for instance, they go 3 floors down first to build the foundations.
Yes.
So that's the template that you're talking about,
Correct.
if you like. And from that, they can then, add bits and pieces, add bits and pieces. But because the template is there, the base is there, you could tear the rest of it down, but because the base is there, it would make it quicker to rebuild, correct?
Correct, yes, correct. But remember, if you build it, the foundation, this foundation can take 10 stories, right? That is the original plan. If you add 11, 12, maybe it will sustain it, but can you go 13, 14? Maybe everything will collapse because the foundation cannot hold it. So that's the reason most companies don't do. That's what they call patching, because you're trying to add something on something that was not really the original plan to do that. So you're just trying to hang piece and survive hang piece. But if you continue like that, everything will just crash, just break down, and most companies will just, at a certain point, they say they cannot do it again. For instance,
so in effect, what we've done is having built that foundation with Integrated AI.
Correct.
This is built for a 1 kilometer tall building, but at the moment we're only 10 stories.
Correct. Yes. Correct. That's exactly, yes.
Got it.
Yeah. Because AI is the order now, except something will come. And I believe if something comes, Unpassive, Mr. Ashra is someone who always think ahead. He will start to be creative before. Some companies just refuse to innovate. But Mr. Ashra is an open-minded person who will always be there to innovate. He can start and build something. Remember, he said they can build 10 Unpassive, different. So there is always the income to start another generation. Say if something comes which is more than AI, before we even know, Mr. Ashra already started it. That will sustain again. But most companies, they refuse, like Samsung collapsed because they refuse to innovate. They said, no, we cannot change. They will just want to stick on their own way. But Mr. Ashmufara is an open-minded person, because somebody will ask, what if something comes more than AI? Mr. Ashmufara already have a plan for that. He knows this structure will be there. People will be using it, but he will start to create something before we even get to that place.
Yeah, then in addition to that, like Mr. Ashmufara always said, the CEO, that all connect unlimited. Unlimited. Tell me which company that can say that some of their products are unlimited. None. Look like Google. Google announced last year about storage. Before they had storage for free, but now they say that they say that people have to pay for storage. But with Unpassive, all our products they're all unlimited.
I think for me, the most phenomenal product is exactly that, the OConnect product. If you open your market out, your entire market, to 8 odd billion people that are on this planet today, because you're able to auto translate into another language, the capability of that alone is absolutely phenomenal. You know, as I said, there are 4 billion Chinese, and at the moment, China is an open market because we're not there. We will be there, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
So, so with the likes of OConnect, when people start to understand or see what is available outside of this, this market will just explode like a mushroom.
Yep, it will explode. It will explode because we have that unlimited. That this is what we are talking about the power of artificial intelligence.
Yeah, like what I said here, Andy, if you look at the long run, Mr. Ashmufara is driven by value, not by anything. And because of that mindset, he can create more than 10 different companies with 10 different ideas. You know, like for instance, say artificial intelligence start to disappear. Because remember, this technology, something more can come, which is more powerful than artificial intelligence. Are we there? Yes, I'll tell you, because Mr. Ashmufara's mind, it's not about money. It's about giving value. So he can start hire engineers that will start to predict the future. I said, okay, now that we are in the era of artificial intelligence, what if something can, which is blah, 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 we don't know the name. How are we going to do that? Innovation will kick in and he can start to create another company. By the time we get there, artificial intelligence is that this company will still stand, but we can still integrate it and build everything again from scratch. So that is the mindset of Mr. Ashmufara, because some people will say, what if artificial intelligence, he will create another thing. But this other company, the reason why, look, we are talking about Nokia, the biggest company that collapsed, because they refused, they didn't predict the future. They didn't see, you know, Android and see like the iOS, you know, Play Apple Store and all of those things coming into play. They just stick to their own because they think they are big there, nobody can beat them. And they were just about money. And that's why they collapsed. So Mr. Ashmufara already, you have looked at all these companies. The reason why they collapsed because they refused to innovate. And he said, we are preparing. So those people in the innovation lab, they are the one looking at the future and said, what if this happened? Are we prepared? Mr. Ashmufara said, yes, you do it. Let's start to get ready. You know, and that's why OnPassive, when he stand and make that statement that OnPassive will stay for generations to come, hundreds of years to come, is because they have already set the bar and they predict anything that can happen within technology.
This is the whole point about that you've made about having this foundation. This is the entire thing. If we've got the right foundation, anything can be built on that foundation. As high as you like. That's what makes it this more exciting for us, certainly, as you say, because we have this capability now to be able to go on for generation after generation after generation, because we've set that initial plan. And although things will change, this technique at the bottom, this foundation at the bottom, is solid enough to withstand, and they're 3 or 4 years ahead of everything else.
Correct.
Yes.
Fantastic. I'm understanding.
Thank you. Darlene.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm focusing on the chat. I'm trying to encourage people to go ahead and interact with us through the Q&A. I do see some comments in the actual chat itself that I would like to share, but it would be good to shift them over to the Q&A. Tina says she's talking about unpassive systems. She says they are built with the foundations built for future additions and or integration, and not as an afterthought. Genius thinking. That was and I guess we're talking about the fact that the afterthought is patching, isn't it? When people say what we have is not adequate, we better start patching. Am I right?
I don't see unpassive to patch, because we have a solid foundation, and our technology, just the integration part alone on it, speaks volume. And the way I structure it, we don't know that much the inside how it is. We are talking by just visualizing and what AI can do, but we have a template that anything Mr. Ash Mufara, if there's any new item or new technology or whatever new that comes, is going to fit on that template.
Yeah.
That I don't see on passive patching.
Yeah, so like, let me add to what Oliver said. I just mentioned it here. If there is new technology, they'll start a new one. They will not patch. If there is a new technology, for instance, we are talking about what do we use now to build all of this AI? We use JavaScript, we use AngularJS, we use Bootstrap. Just say something come, which is not that, because remember there was Visual Basic. Most people use Visual Basic to build their technology and stuff like that, write the code. But now we're talking about Bootstrap and all of these things. So just imagine something come more powerful than JavaScript, because they are bringing a lot. You know, for Mr. Andrew to patch, he will hire those people who can write those programs, and then they will start something, you know, and start to write it again from scratch, building everything from scratch. Why the exist one is there, they are building, they are seeing a way to integrate it. I think that is the innovation. When Mr. Andrew is talking about innovation of stuff, they have started looking about the Internet of Things and said, what if this come? If we predict the future, say something new come, can we integrate it? Do we have it dynamic where we can start to write different things and change the program? It's easy for unpassive, because Oliver said there's the template. They already put everything, and they have predict future eventualities. Things can happen, things can change. You know, the way of writing code can change and program, and they know they have that understanding to change as well.
Okay,
Because the worst thing is if you cannot change. The worst thing if you cannot change, that's when the problem starts.
Yeah. Then let me also add into this. Remember that most our technology is hybrid. Almost everything in unpassive technology is hybrid. It's unlimited. Just these two things alone, hybrid and unlimited. What does that tell you? That the way our technology is, we cannot patch. We cannot patch. We can create something else, like Connie just said. Mr. Ashmofa can create another technology that is going to be integrated with the other one, and is going to be hybrid. Not only hybrid, it's unlimited. Therefore, we can do anything with our technology on that template. Nothing is going to happen. I don't think there's anything, that language of patch, that we need to patch in unpassive. I don't see it to happen. The way we look at it, the way Mr. Ashmofa has put things together with the tech guys in Hyderabad, we don't see anything like patching. When you think about hybrid, you think about unlimited. It clicks. Automated. Those are the things that tells you that in technology, there's no way for us to patch. Yeah, Lynn.
Okay, good. Thank you. That's a reassuring presentation, Oliver. Thank you. Okay, let's go to the Q&A now, and I'm seeing more questions and comments coming up. That's excellent. Keep them coming, people. Let's then use the Q&A. We have Mayan, who says his or her concern is about whether AI will create unemployment, because AI can do virtually everything that humans can do. So there's a concern or some anxiety there about people losing jobs because of AI. Could one of you or a bunch of you respond to that?
You know, when it comes to technology, there will always be job. I think I've answered that question. We answered that question in Papua New Guinea. So people shouldn't be panicked. It's just, you know, AI is just there to help us to assist with the repetitive job. But remember, technology comes in, clear some of those jobs out, and then bring new jobs. Even the amount of jobs that technology will create will be more than the jobs that people will lose. The only thing is, if we humans are dynamic, because remember, we are dynamic, we are the one creating all of this to make our life easy. It means if we can create machine to do that, we have to be dynamic. You know how many businesses AI will create? We are talking about all create coming in, just in unpassive. There are people who decide, okay, they were not able to have their own business because they don't want to pay so much money to build website. They don't have a place to host, maybe to host it on a domain. It's costly, paying every in and out, all those auto ship. Now they'll be able to have their own business online, you know, having the presence online, because one, they have all create, they don't have to pay anybody. They create their website, they can create it using all create and then host it on a domain. How much does it? Unpassive will not charge you too much because it's always affordable. Now there are people who come to on-passive side, be it users, to make money. Because it is coming, because one of the things people don't understand, there is a lot of money on the internet space and untapped resource. Internet space is untapped resource. So that is the thing people don't know. So a lot of jobs will be created. A lot of jobs. The only thing is to cut human errors and stuff. And if people can have a place where their life can be easy, doing something and having all those software solutions to even create job for themselves rather than depend on someone. How beautiful is that? Wonderful is that? There's a lot of jobs in there, out there. People can go and learn how to repair the machines.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The machines are there. People will try to change to say, okay, if machine is taking this, what if I do this to control that machine? That's jobs. Like I said, we came from agricultural age. When we start to move toward industrial age, people think like, oh, there'll be jobs will lose. But instead, industrial age came and create more jobs. People were leaving the farm to factory, working in that factory. Now they move service. We move to servicing, where you have offices and the people will, but people change now. They decide not to work in the office and they will see in industry to create that jobs. They still service. So you see the way job, now we are moving into IT. Where there will be still industry, there's still farms. Farm is still there. People are still farmers, but they are doing mechanized farming with the machines, programs. And now there's still factory for people to work. There's still service in the office, doing accounting, and then more jobs again in the IT. So it's just adding and adding. Except people refuse to be dynamic. That is where you say, oh, I've lost my job. Look at other avenues, there are still jobs. Like Makelo said, you are not dead, you are still alive. You have to move.
Excellent point, Collins. Excellent point. Look at COVID when COVID came in. When COVID came, almost how many percent of people were working from home? How many percent of people were working from home? They're working from home, so it created more other avenues of jobs. People were doing grocery shopping online, and we do grocery online. What are you talking about? You talk about IT. When you talk about IT, now comes on-passive. Now we came at the right time. On-passive is going to the market at the right time. When they're going to use our products, people will be shopping from home. Shops now, a lot of stores now that are doing grocery, they'll use our virtual for encryption from end-to-end secure network. Or come again, Connect. They will use Connect for their conferences. Directors will not be traveling from one end, spending company's money, $10,000 for first class, stay in luxurious hotel. They will save that money and they will do office conferences, meetings. They'll have their meetings, So you see how more jobs is going to create more jobs. People are going to there will be other avenues for jobs that is coming. So AI is not coming to take jobs, but AI is instead coming to create more jobs into the economy, more jobs into the economy. Like Colin just said, look at our commerce. Somebody will just sit in his house and become a reseller, use our commerce to sell, and he or she will make more money than when he was on a 9-to-5 job. That is the power of artificial intelligence. So there'll be more jobs created. Only on-passive alone can create more than how many million resellers that they'll come and take our services to be resellers. That is jobs, and they'll be more comfortable. Yeah. So people should not be scared. Yeah, sorry.
You've also got the opportunity that this brings is the fact that if you take O-Connect as a good example, we have at the moment, we're using another video conferencing which has its issues, especially if you're in Africa, for argument's sake, or Papua New Guinea. There are connection issues. Now, if you take away that, because the artificial intelligence is providing those people with bandwidth so that they can remain on the call, then it does create more jobs, particularly because 97% of people that try and make money online fail. And this is why on-passive is the difference.
Yeah.
On-passive is going to force you to be successful because of the system that's employed. It's absolute genius. And if AI has a part in that and allows people from the wildest or darkest environments of Africa or Papua New Guinea or Indonesia, it doesn't matter. If you've got an internet connection, There you go. You're going to be able to find work of some sort or another. Thank you, Lynn.
And to
Let
add
me
to that,
add
Lynn,
more. Okay.
okay, I wanted to add something. Have you think about the number of jobs that Academy will create?
That's where I was going.
Have you think about the number of jobs, teachers that are there? Some of them are retired and they need money. Maybe they didn't really build proper pension, and this is the time that Academy can give them. There are teachers that have finished, they don't even have jobs, and now they can start to put their courses online, and they'll make so much money. Because just imagine you put like from one module to the other, it will create even 1 million jobs. Academy, from fishing to sewing to swimming, just name them. Countless of them. Everything you go to Academy, you type it. I want to learn about this. I want to learn music. Is there. I want to learn this. Every sector, accounting, sales, it's there. You meet people talking about sales, and you can pay, take a course, have certificate, and boom, there you go. That's jobs coming again within Academy.
Awesome.
The point is this: we should not be scared. Only on passive alone, the amount of jobs that is going to create in the 196 countries that have complied. The amount of jobs, we should just look into it. We should not block our mind. Just look into on passive alone. Connie just talk. I want to talk about Academy, and Connie just hit it. He nailed it. Because only Academy alone can create jobs in all those 196 countries. From math, chemistry, biology, it's the same for high schools all over the world. You have professors that can take it if they make just $20 a day for 30 days for you know, with Academy. For 30 days, that's how much? That's a lot of money.
But just think about it, Oliver. Every single one of us has a skill of some sort or another.
Yes. Yes.
Every single one of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
so we should not be scared.
Yes, Andy, yes.
We should not be scared. We should instead be fired up. You know? We should not block our mind.
Yeah, there are going to be a lot of teachers made through Unpassive. People who never thought they would be a teacher per se are now going to be doing it. And, I think about the fact that because of AI, companies are going to be saving money. They'll have greater efficiency, more productivity.
Yes.
What does that mean? Expansion for these businesses.
A lot of expansion.
With expansion comes hiring ability, right? They have now the money to build bigger and hire more employees. So to me, all of that AI is actually creating employment versus taking away employment, in my opinion. All right.
Sorry, Lynn.
No, go ahead, Andy.
I like the fact, if I relate it to financial services, Academy is phenomenal, because we used to have to do training courses. So you'd have 25 or 30 people on a training course spread over a week. All the hotels are paid for, which cost the company money, obviously. But if you have various modules, not only can students go back into those modules on a daily basis and go, oh, I missed that point. Yeah, now I can learn from that. They don't have to leave their home. They can do everything from once. So it saves the company money. You've got a trainer that teaches or puts this thing online, and every new recruit that goes through the system uses the same system. How smooth, how efficient that is, and what a cost saving. Now, if you're going to use that cost saving elsewhere, everything is moving, as Collins and Oliver has said. Everything is moving. As we have the agricultural age and the industrial age, and now we're moving on to the information age. And information will change to something else, the technology age, or whatever it might be. But as things go, more and more opportunities arise. Simple as that. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. Anything else on the topic? Okay, let's move on. We have Joao Sordo. He's a regular attendee and supporter from Portugal. And he says, with Unpassive, AI for me means time and financial freedom and the best value ever created. And now we have John Menkafor, who is in Cameroon. And he says, you mentioned our security is at 100%. Are hackers and criminals not always a step ahead? Will they not be able to use AI tools to hack into the very secure AI system. Thank you for your work.
Point of correction there. I didn't say our Mr. Mankefo that our security is 100%. In IT security, you don't give 100%. Never. You don't. You give at least if you can give 99, that one is for God. And because you always give 1% also for the bad guys. Yes, the bad guys, they've also used AI, artificial intelligence, to come out with a software that they can easily break through systems. But the point is that when you look into OnPassive, you look into the AI that we've used, that Mr. Ashmufara has used, they cannot. Because we have what we call penetration testing also. That you hack the system, you test, you hack the system, you test. We have the automated one. OnPassive had the automated one. Mr. Ashmufara said that here in one webinar. We have the automated one, and there's a manual one also. So you can easily break into our system. Then come again, our database is 100% secured. I've never heard that before. The data, not the system, the data that are 100% secured in our database. Our database is 100% secured. You cannot be that, and it's because it is embedded with artificial intelligence. So the bad guys, there's no way for them. How can they even break through our firewalls? They will not be able to break through our firewalls because we have powerful security. If they even penetrate, they cannot get into our internal network, into our internal environment. They will not be able to get into our internal environment because I do know our statics and dynamic firewalls cannot allow them to penetrate, to get in that easily because of AI. Yes, we do understand that AI. The bad guys, they've also used AI to come out with software to counter-attack, to penetrate systems. But with OnPassive, yes, we cannot say they cannot 100%, but Mr. Ashmufara has done his best. That they're not able to get into our system.
Anybody else want to chime in on that?
Let me just add something. I know people are worried when they ask the question. Oliver have just answered it very well. In every system, yes, they can try. But remember, OnPassive has layers upon layers and layers of securities. This software is being built by humans. Remember, these hackers too, they are smart because some of them, they came out, they study IT, drop out, they didn't look for jobs. They said the easy way to make more money is to become hackers, So they are smart people. And remember, OnPassive is aware that there are people like that out there. And that's why they put in all this layer of security. Because if there is no bad, nobody will want to put secure. If there are no thieves outside, nobody will put fence around their house. So they put fence around your house because you are aware that all the thieves can come in. So when you build software, like Oliver said, you must make sure it is secured based, on your ability of security. All the layers are there. And if they try, the system dictated, that is how the security will be more stronger. They'll add more extra layer. The more they try, the system, they dictate that, they can pass 1-2 bridge before coming in. That 2 bridge, they'll block it and then they'll perfect it again, create more layers again for you to be able. The more they try, the more OnPassive do. Every IT company is doing that. The more you try, they discover it. Even you have not even get in, they try to make it more secure. So there are people that IT security guys don't sleep. They are there to monitor everything, make sure 24/7 that the system is still standing strong. They don't just build it, go and sleep. No, there are people still looking at it, monitoring the system, every movement, they can see it. Daily report coming out, how the system is performing, So I just want to add that what Brother Oliver said is just 100% true.
Let me also add to Mr. John Mankefo. You remember that AI comes with automated detection action. That when any threat comes in, threaten, the system dictate it and the attack and it lock automatic. That server will just shut down. The server will shut down. Then our tech guys will come now and look into it. It also has a real-time monitoring and alert, like Connie just mentioned, monitoring. We have a system that monitors both in and out. We also have the robust data control. We do understand that there's a lot of leakage. The bad guys can come in through a leakage kind of a way, but we have technicians also. Once the system shut down, they can get in. Automatic shutdown. AI has that capability. AI has that capability to shut down any server that a threat wants to come in. So those are the features that AI comes with. So we should not panic. We are in a very good place and we are fine.
Great concluding comment. Let's move on to Manoj Jacob. He's in India, and he's saying, people are looking for a change from current circumstances. According to me, AI will be a revolution because today everything is scratched. So the possibility of AI is very high. Thank you for your comment. If any of you want to comment to his comment, feel free to do so. We have Jeffrey Morlock, who asks, how is AI used to add features or functionality to our products? How is AI used for adding features or functionality to our products? Meaning, I guess, to our unpassive products, the digital products.
Let me answer that. I know, yes, Jeffrey, that's a good question. What is AI in the first place? AI is line of code. You know, AI is code. You can use any programming language to write AI programs. It's just artificial intelligence that is embedded in all our programs. It's not like AI doing something, but AI is just like we've given all the advantages and what AI does, distraction, all of those stuff. So because all the products are embedded with this code, line of code with AI, it is very easy to add another functions with AI. You know, it's easy to build another function. Said, okay, for instance, let's take for Academy, for instance. We build the product, it's driven by AI. Driven by AI how? Monitoring all the data, make sure all the data that is collected from Academy is singing down to the database robustly and easily. You know, now you said, all right, I want to add CCTV camera. Can you add a CCTV camera functionality driven by AI? Yes. Can you add the distraction detection on that product? Yes, because it's driven by AI. So you can still build another function driven by AI, whatever function, and integrate it to that product. Remember, it is code, and it is either code or it can be data, a bunch of data driven by AI. You know, that is it. It's just line of code. And I don't know if I can really break it down, but normally I can still go down, but it will be more technical, but it's just line of code. It's just nothing fictitious, like people say AI, the thing that is human being working. No. It's line of code. You can use JavaScript to write AI. You can use AngularJ to write AI. You can use Bootstrap. You can use all of those things. You can use C++ to write AI programs. And you can, the database, you can see, you know, customize it using AI, building the database from scratch, you know, to drive AI functionalities. It's just a program. And once you started with AI, you can still add an additional feature driven by AI on that product.
Is that not classed as patching then, Collins, or not?
No, it's not patching.
No.
I build this, I build OMail, right? Now, what most of the things IT company do, they can build it, but like, for instance, on passive, this I'm talking like what other companies I've worked for. We have projects that will take up to 30. We say we can build phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Now, what is the priority we want to give to the customer? First level, phase 1, administration screen driven by AI. We build that, give to them. They say, yeah, this is great. They start to use it in the administration department. They say now they want customer-facing application integrated to administration. We build it driven by AI, integrated, give it to them. Now the customer-facing guys will be using it. We said, all right, we want to write letter generation, fab, driven by AI, integrated. Before 2020, that will give them a little bit, you know, like how you go the agile way. You give what is Scrum? It's like you give a workable solution to the customers, you know, incrementally. We know all what you want, but say, what is your priority? We cannot give you all in one go because it takes time to build. Which one will you want first? You said, okay, Andy, I want only the one for sales. I give you sales first. But I know you want admin screen, and I said, which one will be the next? You tell me, I build and integrate it. Now your administration department start to work with it. And they build it incrementally, add it until the full-blown product will come up. That's how software development is. But what Mr. Ash Mufara have done now, they have built, like they said, the above market value. But ask yourself, Mr. Ash Mufara says something. He said we will still to add functionality on top of the existing one, and we'll build new products. So if people think like old mail will become outdated, I'll tell you hell no, because new functionality will come as we move along. The old mail that will go in the market, give it 4 years to come or 1 year to come, it will not be the same old mail you're seeing, because there will be additional function on top of it. Mr. Ashmufara already knows it. And this is how IT, if you give everything now, what will happen? Look at, let's take, for instance, iPhone. They give you a piece of function. Maybe that function was for railway. You know, the Department of Rail said, we want this. They build it, they give it out to them, they make so much money, then they build mass production one and give it to the market and say, take it. They have already made their money because the phone wasn't for us. It was for a particular reason. They developed that phone, that particular function. Now, tomorrow, telecommunication come and say, can you give us this on the iPhone? They say, hey, yeah. Next year, they put that particular function. But we are not using it. You have iPhone, all the functions, you are not using it. You have never, ever used them. Give it to them, then make mass production and push it out there. So they give it in, that's how they do. And they make so much money. So much money. They don't give everything. I think I answered Jeromalo's question. So this is but we can discuss this every time because it's something I know. I'm in the industry, so this very long time. That's what they do. You don't give it all, because when you give it all, what will you make money again?
Well, it makes total sense, and I'm getting a broader picture, which is great, especially as I'm the total non-techie here. So I'm I'm sure that there are many others in the attendees that will be understanding as much as I am, which is great. Thank you.
So you just build incremental and add it driven by AI. The foundation AI is already there, so you can add more functions on top of it as you move along. All mail, they'll still have more. Why? Because Mr. Ashwell will not tell that guy, go home, your job is done. No, they'll be there. They already have chains that will go right to 30, 40. It is there already on top of OMail, on top of Academy, on top of ODEX. They already have it. But minimum above market value, Mr. Ashwell look at the market and said, if we add this function, we beat everything in the market. Put this out there. Before they catch us that, we'll put another. They catch us, we put another. They catch us, we put another. They want to count, we put 2, 3 on top. So we put it layer upon layer upon layer upon layer.
That's exciting, incremental, you know?
What? Yes, and then while they are putting new technology coming, they are putting additional function on top of the existing one.
And I think it keeps the customer happy, right? Because customers see that
to use the product. You give them more value upon value upon value. Each year.
And this is why we remain 3 years in advance all the time. Phenomenal. Catch us if you can, guys.
Right. And it's also why when we have software and we get disgusted because the developers are slow to meet the needs of the customer. I'm looking at something thinking, this is really lousy. This is a feature that needs to be improved. And years go by and it's never worked on. This is not what Unpassive is about. We will always be cutting edge and we will respond to the needs of the marketplace. I'm sure of that. All right, now we go on to Rose Mottel-Hobby. I know I can't pronounce her name properly, but she's in South Africa. She's a strong leader in Unpassive, and she has a comment to make. Our CEO is very smart and does not prefer our products to be like those existing products. The AI and the machine learning existing within Unpassive technological arena are disruptive and will continue to be disruptive. Unpassive for life. Finally, we got a home called Unpassive. We thank God for the Mufara family. Beautifully spoken. Thank you. We have another question from Marcienne Himabu in the United States. And Marcienne asks, just want to know if AI is a product. Thank you, OTech Pros, for what you are doing. Wants to take that. Is AI a product of Unpassive?
Oliver, do I have to take it? AI,
yeah. Okay, go.
AI is not a product. We have all the products we have, Academy, Connect, they are all built with AI from scratch. You know, these are code. It's coded language. You know, it is code, line of code driven by AI. You know, there are a lot of things we don't want to go technical, but in short, AI is not a product, but AI is embedded in all the products to make it more robust, to cut down errors, you know, to do a lot of stuff. So that's the modern way to go, you know, to do things that we cannot do. You know, it's machine learning. So machine behaving like humans. You have artificial intelligence, which is code, and then the machine now you want to automate it to behave like human, embedded with AI.
Yes, then AI too. That is the AI. That is the few. That is the one of the features, and that is in all our products that they've made all the products to be disruptive, and that you know, that has made it more secure, the save time, and also to avoid human error. You know, so good question, Marcia.
All
Yeah.
right, thank you, Marcian. Great question. Anybody else want to add to that? Okay, we're good. Next, we go on to, I'm going to give everyone a turn. So if someone asks multiple questions, I'll go back to them later. But we want to address Engineer Shushanta Biswas's question. He's in Bangladesh. He's a regular attendee. Thank you for your support, Engineer Shushanta. We appreciate you. He asks, how can a machine with AI understand human emotion? How does AI involve human emotion? I guess is that.
Can I
Go
go on, Collins? Go on, after you.
I know a lot of things people will say, how can it understand human emotion? Machine can look at you, you know, the way you speak. That's a program. You know, machine can look at you, the way you speak, the way you behave, and it can say, oh, this person is like this. It's just the code, the line of code. Things that, for instance, how can machine even talk? Now we're having sonar even talking to you, answer your questions. You know, it's just the way they have coded, and it's just like they can build it and build it and build it, put a lot of programs, you know, using our intelligence and then add it into the machines. It's code. Everything is just about code and program. You know, when you program the machine, the way you program it, the machine can behave like human. You can click a button and the bulb will go on. You click a button, light go off. You know, I remember my workplace, the first time a programmer came, they said, okay, to show that you can do something, I want you to write a code that can turn light on and turn it off. This guy wrote it, light came out and light go off. And everyone was like, okay, this guy is good. But you, as I said, how can machine make light? When you click a button, it just goes bam, light. Then you click a button, it goes off. That's the same program, you know. But when it comes to emotion and feeling, it is your interaction with that machine. They have programmed it and they've made it come into contact with. Like, let me give, for instance, this. We have this passport check system. When you come, you put your passport. They look at your face, facial recognition. They look at your eyes. Machine can reach and look at the color of your eyes. Because sometimes people think like your face, say, open your eyes, you look, it read your retina and said, this passport here is you. And then the door will open. That is what? That is a machine immigration officer standing there, checking you. They look at you, and even the way you will behave, they can know this person is not normal. And will just shut you down and say, boom, by the time you know, the people in person will come and collect you and say, no, it's not you. Because they are watching the camera and the machine is telling them your attitude, your everything. And this is program. It is a lot of code. This can be a topic for another day, but I just want to make it as simple that it is code. It is easy.
Yeah, Collins, you said it all.
I think it's fabulous from the point of view that the machine learns. So a machine will learn if someone's angry. Facial recognition, the way they speak, their tone of voice, whatever it might be, the machine takes all of this information into consideration and goes, ah, he's angry. All right, we won't laugh too much at him. Oh, this one's intelligent. He wants to learn this. It will take all of this information just simply because it's, as Collins quite rightly said, it's programmed to do so. It learns from everything that's going on around it. So taking that facial recognition, it will know that I'm a happy bunny.
All right. Okay, now we would like to go on to Tina Go. She is in Singapore and she is a technology lover. We all know her and love her. And Tina says, I would like to know the difference between AI and cybernetics. And do you think Unpassive will use both dimensions in our systems infrastructure?
That one, I think maybe it's only Ash that can answer that question.
I didn't get it.
Okay, she's asking
Right,
the difference between AI and cybernetics.
Okay, cybernetics.
my understanding of cybernetics is machines that do physical labor or physical jobs.
Yeah.
So in the car industry, you'll have, you know, robots that put the chassis together and the engine in, etc. That's not AI.
Yeah.
It might be in our physical when we have the physical products that are going to come out. Maybe that's why I say it's only Ash that can answer that question. Can go deep into that?
Yeah. Maybe Ash will want to do that and then implement AI embedded, but those robots, they are not AI driven. They are just programmed.
Yeah. They're just programmed.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Thank you. We have Jeffrey Morlock. He asks, what does AI do that makes it important for our future? Very broad question.
Yeah.
What does AI do that makes it important for our future?
We've already explained everything, but we can go. I'm sure the person who asked the question wasn't here. We gave all the points that AI does. We talk about visual perception. It can look at the visuality of your face and predict whether you are happy, sad. Okay, Andy already talked about it. Talk about speech recognition. You know, the way you talk, the way you do things, they can code it because they take a lot of words and they just take a lot of people of different attitude and code it until they perfect the machine to behave like human. That's speech recognition. We talk about decision making. Machine can make decision. We're talking about our old tracker, where you can see heat map. Old tracker can tell you, don't concentrate here because you know it will advise you don't concentrate your effort here because you put more money here, you will lose. This is not where your target markets are. Your target market can be in London, so put all your effort here. And that's how a decision making help you to make decision, predict the future and look at the trend of market and then predict. We talk about, you know, language translation, multiple language translation. That is AI. You know, we can go on and on and on and on. There's just a lot of things, and it's just based on coding and coding, giving machine this info. We are the one giving machine this information, you know, to do what we have asked the machine to do, repetitive things. Sometimes you're tired, you say, machine take over, and machine will take over, start to do it.
And Tina responds, she says, Andy, I think you're spot on with the difference between the two technologies. Thank you for your insight. I appreciate you all. So Tina's appreciative of your responses. Thank you. I think we're kind of wrapping it up as far as questions in the Q&A, unless we have any additional questions. I think I've caught them all. There's quite a few that were not related to AI that we're not going to be talking about. Joao says, from Portugal, he says, AI will be the future teachers of all humanity. So that's beautifully stated. Anything else from our panel here? We're coming up on an hour and a half. Time flew by. We had a good active chat going on. We're trying to guide everybody to use the Q&A. This is our format. This is how we get to interact with you. You get to ask your questions and make your comments through the Q&A section rather than just through the chat. But I'm glad to have an active chat as well. People just shooting the breeze is fine. You know, that's good. But we also want to have specific questions and comments coming through the Q&A that we will address. But I think we pretty much covered them all. If you have any final remarks, Andy, any final remarks as we wrap up today?
For me, it's the excitement. As I said, there are lots of things that I can do, and there's lots of things I can't do. And the beauty of the artificial intelligence, from my point of view, it's going to do the bits for me that I can't do, that I don't understand how to do. Yes, I'd like to learn, but that could take a while. Everyone wants it now. But the fact of the matter is that if AI technology is going to do the bits for me that I don't need to do or don't have to do because they take over that job for me, thank you very much. That's what it means, a hell of a lot of time saving from my point of view, certainly from a sales perspective. So love it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's take it now to Oliver. Final remarks.
Yes, thank you, Lynn. And I want to thank everybody that are here today to listen to us and that they believe in us. Yes, AI will not take our jobs. AI is going to create us and bring us more jobs. Unpassive is going to bring more jobs, more resellers in. You know, just look into Academy. You know, teachers, go there and tap it. All of us, like Andy said, we all have skills, some skills in us that we can also teach. You know, so I just want to say AI is a good thing, and we should be proud to be Unpassivians, that the CEO, as a disruptor of the system, has used AI to take all our products to above market value, and the value that is going to bring to the market, we are going to benefit from it, and we're also going to use that money to solve a lot of problems around the world. Thank you.
Thank you. And finally, we have Collins Mana.
Yeah, so just want to thank everyone for attending this webinar today. Hope you all and we all learn something from it. AI is the way forward, is the future, and there is no way we can escape it. Technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, and that's the reason we must love it and embrace it, because it will create more jobs than even what is out there for now. And not only jobs, it will create well-paid jobs. So that's it, and we just hope that we see you again next time, and we love you all. Thank you.
Thank you. And as we wrap up today, we want to thank our attendees for being here and for your support. Know that OTEC Pros meets every Sunday at 10 a.m. We run it for about an hour and a half. We want it to be interactive. So come back again next week and chime in, ask your questions and make your comments. Thank you very much. And just to let you know, we're having this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. the Heroes Public Webinar. We'll have the OTEC Pro speaking. Andy Burks will also speak, and we'll have Red Redfern give an update about the company. So please join us. The webinar link is in the back office. It might be further down the wall than you're accustomed to. This is what's happening when we post. It doesn't always post to the top of the wall. So scroll down until you see Heroes and join us in a few hours. We appreciate you all. Thank you, and see you next week. Bye-bye for now.